Hello, welcome to the sideboard one last time here at the Star City Games Team Open in Philadelphia, part of the SCG Tour brought to you by Ultimate Garden Carnox Chairs. I'm Nick Miller alongside our now champions here, John Rosum, Matt Dilks, Ayers. This is a couple of trophies for Mr. Rosum here, second for Daryl.
Second, yeah.
First one for Matt, though. This year, you destroyed Season 1. Modern was the name of the game. Amulet did it all. But you guys came up short. A bunch of team events, a bunch of individual events. So you get the job done today. How's it feel?
Pretty good. I guess it's lucky number 10. This is my 10th total top 8 and 8th this year. So it's pretty sweet to finally close, I guess.
It was a closing match. You know, we cut to you guys in Game 3 of a pretty crazy match there. You had a ton of innovation going on with your list this week. Talk about your deck and then that game in particular.
So basically with Amulet, the two printings from the new set were Once Upon a Time and Green Castle. And Once Upon a Time is kind of like a filler card like we've played before, like Oath of Nissa or whatever. But it's a little bit more powerful. Look at top 5 tribal as the deck is kind of now. And Castle kind of occupies this role of a few different things. It's like ramp, it's untapped bounce land. Does like a lot of things, like a lot of little things well, and together makes a pretty powerful slot in the deck. That Urza deck is pretty scary, but they can't beat Titan. They can't. The first Titan gets blue packed and it's all over.
Yeah. What was going through your minds when they started having to spin the Urza there?
That I was gonna 100% lose to some.
I couldn't watch. I just couldn't watch. I turned my seat around. I just could not watch.
I felt like we were like a hard log. You have to get so lucky. Like his first spin was really good, but he had to hit a PO. Like he had to basically hit perfects, because if he had anything, he would have played it already.
Yeah.
I couldn't. Oh, sorry. I couldn't even watch that game because he mulled the 5, and his 5 was like Breeding Pool, Castle, Amulet, Pact Negation, Azusa. He drew Summoner's Pact. Like that's a good draw step. Drew Titan. That's a bad draw step. Drew Titan. That's a bad draw step. On the last possible turn, just like Simic Growth Chamber off the top. I'm like, oh my god, we have a game. So.
Yeah, that's another game too, because we only had two mana in play, and then when we drew the Simic Growth Chamber, we got to play it with Azusa, and then we got to play it twice and activate Castle. So it's like that's another game where Castle accelerated us by 1 without having to be while being an untapped source for like stuff like Amulet or Scout or Ancient Stirrings.
Plus, you had Feel of the Dead going on in your deck. Speaking of which, John, Golos was everything this weekend.
Yeah.
You played, I have to imagine, double-digit mirrors.
I think I ended the weekend at. Oh, I played 3 mirrors in top 8, so yeah, I think I ended at 11.
And how did you do?
I lost 1. I went to Game 3 of a lot of them, and it didn't. There was only 1 that ended in an unintentional draw, but that draw locked us for top 8 anyways. But there was a lot of Game 3s undecided. So.
A lot of games going to time. This is the longest tournament we've had this year by a long shot. You were the deciding match there. Your opening hand had Kenrith. Was that basically the deciding factor?
I looked at my hand and it was 4 lands, Kenrith, Oko, Beanstalk Giant. I'm like, I'm just going to play as Kenrith on turn 4 and roll with it. And then I found 2 Agent of Treacheries, and he had like a really good start he went turn 4 fires into Circuitous Route, which is like what you could ask for. And he next turn like played like another spell and cast Agent, and I veiled it, and then I drew a card, and I only had 6 mana. I drew a tap land, and then I drew Circuitous Route. Could not cast Agent on fires, and I thought that was just a deciding game, but turn after I just cast double Agent, and it just took over.
Fitting in stealing the Fires of Invention.
Yeah.
The 2 Lotus Box decks dominated the weekend in the standard seat. To win with their own fires is pretty telling.
Yeah. Agent of Treachery, card of the weekend. It just messed up in all the mirrors, and I saw his sideboard, and I only had 2 agents. He already saw both of them. He had no veils, so it was like I just had free reign the rest of the game. So.
Daryl, finals didn't go your way, but your deck that you won the PTQ with was basically the deck of the tournament in Legacy. So many people were playing it. You know, you've made a massive impact on the format. You know, once again, it seems like anytime your Delver deck has an ape in it, you come out with a trophy.
Yeah, I do a lot of monkeying around, but yeah, a couple weeks ago at GP Atlanta, I won one of the PTQs playing like 72 of the same cards or so, and then people started testing, like a lot of like my friends and acquaintances started testing it and just kind of crushing, and we're like, I think this deck is great. Like Stifle seems to be like in a really sweet spot right now.
Where do you go from now? Do you just stay with this, or?
I'll figure that out for the next Legacy tournament. We've got a few months.
Rosum standard, where does it go from now? How do you
honestly
build your Golos deck to be the best deck now?
You just play the Fires one. I think that's just the way you do it. That's just the best deck in all the mirrors. I thought I had no chance in game one, but he just drew really, really bad, and I got to answer a. He basically had a Fires in play the whole game, but I was able to answer basically everything else, and I got to use my one Fae of Wishes to get in the gate, so I could just counter any spell he got off his sideboard, and then I won the game with 2 Beanstalk Giants and the Giant Wrath on the stack, just attack for 26.
Dilks, Ayers, you two, along with Edgar, made a lot of top 8s, but you just couldn't seem to get there in the end. Pick up Rosum. Upgrade, downgrade?
Maybe side grade. I'm not sure.
Oh, damn.
Like Rosum, Rosum seems to close. This is the 2nd trophy already. I think Edgar's sitting on a hard 0, so that's definitely an upgrade there. But I'm not sure. Me and Matthew will have a little tribunal and see who we can pick up the next one.
Running joke all weekend was this was 2018 Rosum.
Yeah.
You played very well this weekend.
Thank you.
You guys took down the trophies. Congratulations once again, John, Matt, Daryl. Any closing shout outs?
Yeah, I would like to give a few. I want to shout out my amazing Lotus Box teammates. All of them, you don't need to name all of them, there's 8 of us, but they all know who I'm talking about. They're all great. The one person I worked pretty extensively with this weekend was Edgar. Edgar and I played basically the same 75, all spells included, and without him, I probably would not have learned some of the things I did about the mirror or used anything. And another person I'd like to thank is my really good friend Oliver. He helps me, he fixed my mana base in such a way where I think it was just way better. I think Edgar's was good, but I had a lot more untapped lands, and he's been a really good friend to me and really supportive of when I've been losing, so appreciate him.
Either of you?
I think we want to probably thank everyone that's not here from our hangouts. It makes Magic fun. Like we talk literally every day and goof around. Like I'm not really a fan of the grind and everything, but hanging out with those people and talking to them every day is what makes it fun.
I actually wasn't going to come to this. I was going to play in the online mocks, and like 2 weeks ago I decided to come because of for placement for buys for next year. So I'd like to shout out myself for coming, and then I'd also like to shout out myself for having a sweet Legacy deck that a lot of people played.
Well done. You get all the shout outs you need. You guys are the champions.
Yeah.
Congrats again. We're going to send it back to Matthias and Emma to close it out here in Philadelphia.